Hello and welcome. This is the actual play channel where we play amazing tabletop RPGs together. Mad J. Brown was kind enough to continue to let me step in and GM for him, and I'm very grateful for his trust and excited to run something new for the channel. As a reminder, all channel proceeds are split between Black Lives Matter and the Trans Legal Defense and Education Fund. So here we are in our first foray into a game that I've run quite a few times for the Gauntlet, which is this amazing online group of indie gamers that I adore. And they've helped me sound this thing out. And huge thanks to Will, who is a member of that group, who you've heard me mention during my Bounty of the Week game. Yes, we align in many of our Star Wars flavorings. This is a game called Hutt Cartel. Let me show the cool book. It is based off of very heavily. I'm trying to angle it so you can see the cool art. This is a fantastic game called Cartel by Mark Diaz Truman. It's put out by Magpie Games. It's got a cool layout format. It's very colorful, vibrant, great art, amazing layout. It is a super cool game. And Cartel is this game about the Mexican narco fiction style, like Narcos or Breaking Bad, or even there are heavy influences from The Wire. And I've taken that game, and Will's helped me with a lot of the playbook conversions, to a Star Wars setting. So at the very top, let me tell you, content warning. Drug use. There are drug moves in this game. It's a Powered by the Apocalypse game. There are moves. When you want to do a thing, you engage a move. There are drug moves. There is a casual sex move. We're not going to get graphic. We will fade to black. That is one of our safety tools we already have in place. There is a when you get carking shot move. Death is on the table. That is one move. You get shot and have to make this move. You may lose your character. So violence is a thing. Within the genre that this game emulates, torture is a thing. We are not going to describe in any way physical torture, because that's not interesting to me as part of our fiction. But there is a move called Get the Truth Out of Someone. So please be advised, this is a PG-13 pushing to R, and some of the content may dance into R. I want to get all those. We're on Twitch. We're going live, and I don't want to have any terrible incidents of people jumping in. So I may warn you from time to time before we hit the content until folks are broken in. So that is Matt J, you've run Cartel before. Are there any content warnings that I've missed that you want to throw out there before we jump into this?
No, I think you covered everything. When I've ran it at one shots, usually language is the thing that that happens the most at the table, right? Everything else, I think we, for the most part, we're all kind of aligned. So torture, sex, extreme violence, those things usually fade to black, right? You get the idea. The guy comes in with the sledgehammer, right? And you're going to tell me, right? And then everything fades to black, right? We know what happened. So I think you covered everything, man.
Cool.
We did I saw your, and I will catch up on it because I didn't read it all, but we do the lines and veils at the top.
Yeah, we did.
In the character keeper, so.
Yep, do take a look at that, Matt J, when you get a chance. Matt J's been swamped with real life stuff, and that is totally cool. Game, life trumps game, as we say on the Gauntlet. That said, do take a look at that. Fill out any of the lines and veils. So, have you never heard of content or safety tools? Let me tell you briefly about it, friends. It is imperative that you use them. I have a home group, and we play bi-weekly. And we know each other inside, outside a game, and we still use safety tools. We use the X card. But here we use a few extra tools We use lines, which means this is content that ahead of time we're saying it's off the table. We're not interested in this. This is not part of our Hutt cartel. We have veils, which are things like I described before. If sexual content happens, we veil that. So we'll fade to black. We'll quickly cut away from that. We're not going to hover over it. It's content. It's okay if it exists within our story. We just don't want to shine a spotlight on it. And then we have content which is ask first, which means it's situational. This might be a thing that in one approach could be totally cool, but in another not. So what we ask is for that particular content, before you introduce it, me or any of the players introduce that type of content, we check in with the group outside of the fiction of the game to say, for example, I have ask first midichlorians because just my experience of running a lot of Star Wars games. Exactly. Some people, the whole midichlorian thing is just a total mood killer for them. And you mentioned midichlorians and trying to make science out of your science fantasy. It is a thing that turns people off. So if I were to say, oh, maybe this NPC has some high midichlorian count and that is supposed to be mysterious or something, I'd say, hey, what do you guys think about? And if any one person like Mad J says, no, it says hashtag not my Star Wars, then that's fine. We think of something else. And if the person who that was the only good idea they had, then we throw it out to the table. Okay, cool. I wanted to make this person kind of mysterious. Does anyone have any ideas? Someone will popcorn up a few ideas and we roll with that. So that's how we'll handle that. X card also on the table. That's the thing of you didn't know that you were going to get into this particular content, or you didn't realize that today it was going to bother you, whereas it may not have last week. It's totally cool. People go through different things, different moods, different experiences. So you just say, hey, I need to X card so-and-so. We will excise that from our play and move on. And if we need to, we can go off stream if that's something that's serious and people want to talk it through. That's totally cool with me, because you guys are more important than the fiction that we've created. I mean, Disney drops billions of dollars to throw out all of the expanded universe. We don't have any money, but we got our imaginations and we can do that. So that's all out of the way. Okay, let's...
Hey, Rich, what time period are we playing if we're setting this in the Star Wars canon?
Thank you very much. That is a great question. In the Bounty of the Week game, which we previously concluded, we'd said that it was around Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett timeframe. I'm flexible. Are you guys cool with that? So that any event that we may refer to the Bounty of the Week or NPCs that could show up from that series could just walk in here and we know where they came from? Does that sound cool to y'all?
I'm good with that.
Okay. You good, Medje?
I'm good with that.
All right. Any other questions about setting before I introduce where we're set? All right. Cool.
I'm looking for my face.
Oh, good. Face claims are important. Face claims are a term that I learned in play-by-post not long ago. But anyway, it's where you find the picture of your cool character, your tune, your avatar, your character. Misha and Jeremiah have already found really cool pictures.
Why is it called a face claim?
Because it's the face you're claiming as your own.
Okay.
Nice. Thank you, Misha, with superior play-by-post knowledge.
Like staking your claim.
Okay, I'm like, okay. Literally, a face claim. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually used if you're using a real character, a real actor, or a real person, as opposed to like just a drawing. Because then you could let's say I'm using Amanda Sandberg, for example, this week. Well, I can now find multiple pictures of her and different settings and stuff, doing stuff. Also helps to, give people a reference. Like, when you see my character, she looks like blank.
It's true. It's true. Often with a face claim, you can have several different outfits, so that you can, have an evening wear face claim or a bikini wearing face claim or anything along those lines. So yeah, there you go.
I found my face claim.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Oh, I need 2 boxes to put him in, though. He's not going to fit
Oh,
in
cool.
one box.
Are you not going to fit in one box? Oh,
Yeah.
What are you playing? Like a Yeti? Or...
Yeah. If you paste the URL, it'll autofill one of those.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Cool. So I'm going to talk real quick
quick.
about our setting. I've chosen to use a planet called Terrace. Rhymes with Paris, spelled like Paris with a T. This is a planet from Knights of the Old Republic, an old but beloved video game that's getting a remake. Very excited, very excited.
Ooh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And actually, Amy Hennig, I think, from Uncharted, and has done a bunch of really good narrative video games. It's supposed to be the story lead on it. So very excited about that. Terrace is a cool planet, but it was explored in Old Republic, right? Thousands of years ago. So our Terrace, we're going to use a bit of the foundation, but thousands of years have passed, and a lot of stuff happened in the video game that we're not going to get into, but bombing, plagues, bad stuff. Terrace is I always screw up this term. Ecumenopolis, I believe it is in Star Wars worlds, right? We have the frozen planet of Hoth, we have the swamp planet of Dagobah. Everything is one environment, is a whole planet. This is a city planet, like Coruscant, the capital of. Yeah, exactly. Except Terrace is Ecumenopolis or whatever. I'm not going to say it again because I've probably screwed it up. As a city planet in decay. That's the first thing that I think is interesting and makes it distinctive from Coruscant. The other thing is, while Coruscant has thousands of subterranean levels, Terrace exists on just, 3 or 4, based on how you're counting. I'm going to share screens real quick and just go over just a brief bit of information so we can keep this in our minds as we're making characters and creating our cartel. So hopefully you guys can, when I click the button correctly and add it to stream, haha!
Yeah, there it is.
There is our planet. So it's an urban planet in the Terrace system. In our timeline, we are saying that it is still under the control of Imperial forces.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, there are several levels. So up at the very top, hundreds and hundreds of meters up, is the upper city. It's a beautiful area inhabited by the rich and powerful people. They live in the highest reaches of the towering, glittering, spire-shaped skyscrapers that dominate the landscape. This is where the privileged live, surround themselves with all the trappings of prosperity. As a result of the elitism and social status, access is restricted to non-humans here. And I just wanted to check in. Speciesism is an imperial trope that has existed in most of Star Wars. Just check in. I didn't see that in the Lines or Veils, so I just want to check in. Is everybody cool if we're not going to dig? Okay, well, we might. We'll see. I mean, it's like Cartel. I should stop putting all the breaks under because it's like Cartel. And then in the middle is Middle City. Middle City is it's the most populous section of Terrace. It's where the law-abiding working citizens live, and the other non-humans. This is where they get to rise to. Middle City is also the largest area. A large portion of the buildings are included in that jurisdiction. And then we have the lower city, home to the lower class people, non-privileged classes of Teresian society, and control over the lower city is subject to rivalry between swoop gangs. And they're pilots who compete in swoop racing, which is a popular sport for thousands of years. And then there is the Undercity. So the Undercity is very rarely explored by people. Very few people want to live down there. There have been plagues. There have been monsters. It is not a place you want to go. Going to Undercity is a great place to hide out from the imps or the Imperials. It is not a place you want to stay. Any questions about Terrace? All right.
Nope.
Hutt Cartel is played with playbooks. Nice pick. It's a very good face claim. I like it.
Thank you.
So everybody did a little bit of pre-work to talk about what playbooks they were most interested in. There are a number of playbooks for Cartel. I have worked with Will, and we've reflavored, recontextualized a few of them. What we have are 3 really cool playbooks here that I'm quite interested in exploring in a game. All of your characters will be working for the same cartel, and the cartel will have a crime boss. In other iterations of this game, they've been called the drug lord, but I didn't want to gender it, so I called it the crime boss because a drug boss sounded weird, so crime boss is what I wanted. Drug boss sounds weird. It's just crime boss.
But no, crime boss sounds good.
So crime boss it is. And if we accidentally call it a drug lord, but we will need to devise who our crime boss is as we create these characters. The characters that you all have made are way more important to me than any of the NPCs at this point. I know that's not how every MC or GM plays it, but that's what I do. So I am really interested in learning a bit about each of these characters. I think the first person to actually choose a character playbook was you, Jeremiah. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you know about your cook so far?
That's a good question. I was mostly picking stuff off a list, so I hadn't put much thought into it. I don't know. I think I was just kind of drawn to it for some of their like secrets, because they're I think part of the idea is trying to like having this illicit job, but keeping that information from friends and family. I think sounds really compelling. And I kind of like that they're sort of like techie and sciencey, which is fun.
Let me step in to say, if people are thinking, wait, is he in a restaurant? No, this is a drug cook. This is a person who cooks up spice or death sticks or cooks up illegal drugs that will be sold by the cartel. Breaking Bad is a huge influence on the playbook of the cook.
Definitely. Got my little drug lab.
You got a 2 in grit. Did you already add? You get to add +1 to 1.
Yeah, I put it into grit.
Okay.
That seems to fit my play style.
Your tenacity and good fortune is pretty awesome. Nice. You start with cooking, which means if you're fully stocked in cooking at the start of the session, you roll with grit. You can cover your obligations to make a little surplus for yourself. You decided to choose the moves of let's try science, which I want you to excitedly announce that move whenever you're going to use it.
Oh yeah,
because there's an exclamation point. So I need to feel it.
Science.
And then freak out, which I love. It has a very telenovela feel to it.
I love the upsetting emotional outbursts.
You get to roll a grit to justify yourself, which is a move in this game.
Yeah.
You've got some ties to establish. Now, one of the things that I always talk to people about Hutt Cartel versus Cartel. So in Cartel, it's Mexican narco fiction. Everybody's from Durango. They're all human people. So creating ties where you're like, so-and-so is a family member, it totally makes sense in Cartel. In Hutt Cartel, where, let's be honest, everyone likes to play aliens or have lots of aliens involved. I am guilty of such things. That can be a little weird. So I've tweaked those ties to say, which I think they're laces in Cartel. I can't remember the exact term for it. But is family or just like it. So we'll fudge with it a little bit vis-a-vis the ties that involve NPCs. And that is another thing to keep in mind, is ties can involve, I'd love for you to have at least one tie to a PC.
Okay.
But a lot of these, you read them and you say, I don't know how to tie this to a PC. That's okay. Many of them are supposed to be creating new NPCs within our game.
Gotcha.
And then you have keys. It looks like you've chosen. Keys are how people get XP in this game. You have 2 keys active, and you only need 3 XP to advance in this game because it's a little harder to hit these keys. Like some of them are really challenging and interesting. They set up very exciting situations for you to try to hit them. You've chosen secrets and debt. So I'm curious, where do you think when you picked debt? I know you said you were just going through and picking from a list. So let's talk about it just a little bit here. Mark XP when you strain your finances to meet your family's immediate needs. Do you see that as like actual blood family? Is that a found family? Who are you trying to provide for? And if you have a face or a singular person that you want to focus that on, that's cool too.
Yeah, that's actually a good question because like until you kind of made the point of like it being Star Wars and it may not be literal family. I think I was assuming actual family, so that may not be the case.
Okay.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that aspect of it, but I think part of the direction I was going with is just like when it comes to like money, that's just not a thing that is on his mind. Like he's just bad with it. So like just constantly kind of being in debt and getting buried all the time because he's more interested in all the science and the cooking, getting him into trouble. I don't know. I think maybe. I think maybe he actually does have some like actual family. Maybe like extended family sort of stuff. Like, I don't think like he has a family as in like wife and kids, but I think he probably has
sister, brother, cousin,
and nephews and nieces and cousins and things like that.
Cool. Can you pronounce his name for me? Just so I want to make sure I have it.
I've been pronouncing it Ito in my head.
Ito?
Yeah. Ito Dura.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. I like it. You start with custom, Poodoo, creds, gear. You got a stable lifestyle, a decent vehicle, 2 comm units, one of which is a burner, meaning like I'm just stealing that from Cartel. It's one that is not keyed to your chain code or ident. It's a thing that you can use that shows up as unknown number, that kind of thing.
Nice.
And a lab, which you get to detail. I'm very excited to get to the details.
I've already made all my options there.
So tell us about your lab.
Yeah. So I decided on making Slick because I had to do some research, and Slick sounded interesting because it's like a euphoria-inducing drug. So that sounds like something fun to play with. So I like the idea that he's all in on like having like good lab equipment, so I'll work with the professional equipment for the lab, and then I like the idea of having an assistant, and maybe that assistant is somebody that's related to me or something. I don't know.
Nice, I like that.
More complicated, and then I added the uncommon chemicals and the byproduct or odor, so that it's
okay.
I got to deal with shortages, and it's more detectable.
Shortages and detectable. Very cool.
Yeah.
So you've fallen on hard times. This is one thing you're going to need to figure out. You have to keep your work secret from the people closest to you, and you get to choose 3 of those. But I'll give you a minute or 2 to look at those options. And then down here, advancement is just when you get 3 XP, you get to check off one of those advances.
Cool.
So that is, quick run through.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Misha. Hello. Tell us a little bit about your hawk.
So her name is Amy. She is a Zavrak, and she runs with a small gang of Zavrak women, who I've already put on the NPC tab.
Nice.
Let's see. I filled out some things. I'm still things. So we've got Haproda, who is there to cheer me up when the Poodoo gets tough. Tassi, who is a real laser brain, but it just can't cut her loose. And Muvanu, who's solid and ready to throw in whatever I need her. We're in
right.
touch with high-level smugglers, so we're +1 connected. We're employed outside the cartel officially or unofficially, so we get to raise our lifestyle. But we owe somebody some favors, and we might have a few enemies.
Oh, a
Maybe.
turf war.
Just
Oh man, that is excellent. I love
I
it.
thought you would like those.
Those are great choices. Tassi and Muvanu, and the laser brain is Tassi.
I mean, I picture her as a blonde and everything. It made sense.
You said you stuck them in the. Did you have? Oh, you already found pics for them and everything.
I did, because I am that cool.
You are A++. Those are great. Look at her; she's a blonde, just like you said. These are cool. These are really, really good. Fantastic work. Oh man, everybody else should be jealous of all the excellent choices that you've made here today.
I just gotta pick my moves and stuff. Which
So moves you get 2 more to start, but you start with my pack, which is a cool move that allows you to get your gang to do a thing. So sometimes you'll see move names, and hopefully they all fit. But if they ever seem slightly incongruous, that's on me. I translated these from Cartel, where they are Spanish slang. So the translation of slang isn't always 1 for 1. But you know, I think they all make some sense. Cool. You've chosen the keys of ambition. Mark XP when you get someone to give you a job that was supposed to go to someone else.
I figure that's how we got into the turf war in the first place.
That's awesome. I love it. And faith. Mark XP when you willingly enter a dangerous situation without precautions or deception.
Yeah, originally I think that one was called daring. So I think, I don't know, faith seems odd for that one.
Well, let's call it daring.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Makes more sense. I would agree. A destitute lifestyle, but you get to upgrade that.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's the next level up?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't think there's a table in Cartel that says this to this to this. But I will look it up in the PDF just so I can search on lifestyle. But I think it would be a poor lifestyle or impoverished. So we will get an answer on that for you shortly. You got a piece of drug speeder bike or a swoop bike? Do you have any idea about what you prefer there?
I
mean, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Really, it's kind of a false choice on my part.
Yeah, no, I have no particular.
Awesome.
One way or the other.
A few burner comm units from your handlers. So you do you're in touch with high-level smugglers and producers from other cartels. Whew, man, that is dangerous. That is really interesting, though. You're employed outside the cartel, officially or unofficially. What are you thinking about that? Is your head around, I'm cool with it being officially or unofficially employed?
I'm thinking we might like work for a bar or something.
Ooh, that's really fun. Cool. I like that a lot. Good. And then your crew owes favors to someone. That is fun and interesting. And our turf war. Oh, delightful. Delightful. AB, how long has AB been in this gang and doing this work? Is this a newer thing? Or...
I think this gang is a group of girls she grew up with. So for as far as like the core gang, forever practically. As far as for the cartel, a couple of years, not as long as the gang, but not like super recent.
Cool. I like it. That makes sense to me too. I like the idea that you guys all are you Teresian, or did you all come here, immigrate here? What do you think about that?
I think we immigrated. I think we may have run away from something bigger and better on our home planet.
Dathomir's got a lot of stuff to run away from.
Yeah, right?
And then when you ran away, were there any Zabrak family members that you brought along, or was it just you and the gang?
Just the gang. The gang is family. Yeah.
Okay.
We're not family by blood, but they're family.
I love it. Muvanu is your solid.
Yep.
Proto is the one who cheers everybody up, and Tazi is the one that starts all the poodoo. Great. Anything else about AB you wanted to share that we haven't talked about yet?
Not off the top of my head. I haven't answered much more than is already on paper. So if you ask questions, I'll probably come up with answers, but I don't have any.
You are good at that.
Click
you are good.
Find out.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is get just a general gist of our characters. Then we'll circle back around to do ties, and we'll feel some of the stuff we'll fill out. We'll play to find out. That sounds good. All right, it is time, Mad J. It's time to talk about your rat. If you are talking, I can't hear you.
I'm still getting used to my new mic. I'm sorry.
I got you.
That's me. Yeah, that's me.
How do you say his name? Rook?
Roo. The K is silent. Roo. He's that guy, yes. The K is silent. Rue Moreau. Yeah, I think he's I was looking for Shady AF under looks, but I don't see it in here. But yeah, I think he's always looking around. I think he's probably not very tall, kind of skinny guy. Ultra paranoid, always looking around, checking folks out. What did you bring to whatever this gathering is, right? Are you armed? Do you mean me harm? That kind of, yeah, he's sketchy, not sketchy. A lot of energy, right? He's that guy. Yeah.
I like it. A 2 in face. You are the face of the group, which means that's your ability to project social power, especially when you offer people credits to do what you want or when you justify your behavior.
Right.
Not so good with the hustle.
No.
You're drawing people in and convincing them to go along with you. So you're just like a bunch of, like, I'm going to push you to do a thing versus talking you into it.
I think he tries. I think he likes to think he has some hustle. He's just bad at it, right? Yeah, he's just bad at it.
Cool. That is delightful. Connected. You go looking for a cartel person in the plaza to help with a problem. Nail them and roll with face. Get to create some NPCs from time to time, or just look on our big NPC list and say this person. But either way, whichever you want to track them down. And you've taken +1 to face. Ooh,
yes,
nice. Did you already take your +1 to the start stats?
I did. Stats? Yeah, okay. I put it in savagery.
Okay.
I did not want. Yeah, I did not want to reduce or mitigate hustle. I like it being -1.
Makes sense. Makes sense to me. Escape. When you try to exit a tense situation, you roll with face, and on 10+, you are out of there.
I felt like I will need that with a hustle of -1.
you just might. You just
for a guy who likes to try to hustle, right? I felt like I might need that escape move.
I think you will. Cool. So let's talk a little bit. You took Mercy for keys.
Yes.
Mark XP, you try to head off a violent encounter, a negotiation or persuasion. And Paranoia.
Yes.
Mark XP, you try to get the truth out of someone about their true loyalties. Those are juicy. And definitely going to stir up some poodoo. I like it. You know, impoverished lifestyle. I'm gonna give myself a note here.
So is that higher or lower than destitute?
It's in the table that I have to look up in the cartel book.
I'm assuming I'm understable, right? That's so yeah. I'm not as good as Ito, but
not as good as Ito. You got an old blaster pistol, a burner comm unit, bunch of cartel contacts, and a reliable vehicle. Nice. You thinking like a speeder, maybe, or
I'm thinking the Cadillac of speeders.
Cadillac of speeders.
Yes.
Well, nice. So you're one of the crime. Dadgum, there's a lord instead of boss. You're one of the crime boss's trusted lieutenants, but you decided to betray the cartel.
Yes.
Ooh, there's a part of me that wants to ask why. There's a part of me that wants to discover it and play. Which would you prefer?
Well, there's a question further down that makes me pick.
Ah, okay. Well, let's talk through this stuff. So you regularly work with 5 NPCs, at least in the cartel.
Yes.
Who is always asking for help?
Zola is.
Zola.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
What did Jeremiah do?
He gave us the lifestyle table.
Oh, you're the best. You're the best.
Yes, yes, yes.
Luckily, I've got my Cartel PDF handy because it's in the cloud.
A Vespa. I just saw that. That is funny. I'm gonna stick this down in our basic window, so I'm gonna stick it right here.
Get one of those fancy modder speeders.
Yes, modder speeders. Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta look the part.
Who suspects you? Who suspects your treachery as Staraban? What are you thinking about? Well, actually, before we move forward, tell me a little bit about Zola. Why does she always ask for your help?
I think she's new, right? Yeah, she's new.
And she's always asking for your help, which means she's asked for it in the past. Do you generally help her out?
I think so. Yeah, I do. I think Rue knows she's at least new to the cartel, so I think he's extending out that she's the FNG, and that's why she's always asking, and never thinking past that. So he might get blindsided because right, he's not. That's why she's asking. She's new. She doesn't know.
And then you've got who suspects your treachery? A Staraban.
Yes.
Tell me
I
about
chose.
Staraban.
Yeah, I don't like that name, and so I assume.
Okay, change it to whatever you want.
Oh no! We're going to fix that in play, so it's going to be all right. It's going to work itself out.
Okie dokie then.
No, that's why I chose that one. I'm like, oh, I hate that name. So that's the one who suspects me of treachery. I think we were in the same detention block, right? And I got out before him, which probably means I cut a deal. Not always, but right. And he may have to stay a couple of days, right? And I was out, way sooner.
What's in your head canon, if you have any, about what a Staraban does for the cartel?
So again, further down, my tasks are counting money, tracking payments, and collecting protection money. And so if he's part of my crew, I think he's probably good at collecting protection money. So I think he might be, he might be a Wookiee, right? For intimidation, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think he's good because he's intimidating, and so he goes along, right? To hey, we're here, to collect tribute, and you don't want to make the Wookiee mad.
Nice. Did you have an idea on Zola, species-wise, human, non-human?
I'm thinking non-human because that helps. Rue again. They're new, and they're not human, and that's why they're always asking for help, right?
Okay.
I think that's where, yeah. So I think they're non-human.
right, we'll TBD that one. That sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you are a money man for our crime boss.
Yep.
And he doesn't know.
Right. And I flipped to avoid detention.
Okay.
That's the why. That was the other question that was in here.
Nice. Oh, where is it?
It's right under who suspects your treachery in dirty work. You're almost there. I see your cursor. There you are. Yes.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Did I say that out loud? What's that mean? Sorry.
No, it's good. That was helpful. You saw my cursor.
I thought that was my inside voice. Sorry.
No, that was that was helpful. You're a helpful person. Hey, Misha giggle snore. That's
I
good.
did. I know that was fantastic.
It's
I
good
love
work.
it.
A++. Cool. All right. Let's do some ties.
Yes.
You went Rue. You went last with now. I just get Rue with a silent K. I'm getting euphoric thoughts. It's all good. It's all good. It's good. It's good. Let's talk about ties.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've got ties to assign here. It looks like you're intimate with Tassi. The laser brain.
Likes
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Yes.
That seems
Story checks.
not at all a problem. I delight in this.
It's fine. It's good. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything is fine.
Right. Everything's fine.
Okay. So you already answered. Tassi and you are intimate.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody works with you regularly on cartel business. Oh yeah. Why haven't you been able to end things despite the danger? What is the danger? Is that she's a laser brain, or is it that you think that AB's not happy about it? What do you think the danger is?
Yeah, I think I don't. Yeah, I think we're fraternizing and we shouldn't be, right? I think there might be some undefined buckets, right? And it's like coworkers, right? Coworkers shouldn't be, right? I think
Don't dip your pen in the company ink.
right, and that's what's happening here, man. We're gonna need a new ink bottle here soon, so yeah.
That's why you should use pencil.
Nice.
I'm not really sure what that means in that metaphor, but
It doesn't.
It still works, though. I mean, it works.
But clearly, you're doing the wrong things.
So let's hit another one of these two. Somebody knows you're an informant. They haven't told anyone, but they started to blackmail you. And someone who works with you regularly on cartel business. You don't trust them, but you're confident they don't know your secrets yet. Do either of those feel like something you could offer up to a PC?
Yeah, so I think Ito knows I'm an informant.
I like that. Because I think that fits with what I was thinking for Rue.
Nice. And I think Abby and I work regularly on cartel business.
Sounds good.
Oh, that's great.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's jump over to Abby. Let's talk about your ties. Blank gave you new responsibilities lately at your request. They have their doubts, but you'll prove them wrong soon. Do you want it to be the crime boss?
I'm feeling like that one's
the
probably
spouse of the crime boss. Do you want it to be?
Do we have a
one
spouse? No, that's protocol related. It's a spouse.
No. I mean, it's an NPC, so we can just lead into it being an NPC, and the NPC has a spouse if we want, which is a piece of cartel that is more meaningful than a Hutt cartel. It could be.
It could be the bar owner.
Oh, it could be the bar owner. Interesting. So the bar owner that you're running. Yeah, we really
gotta
need
come
to
up with
flesh out
names.
this bar. Yeah,
I
that's okay. We have we have this thing called Names and Species Helper.
There you
Which
go.
could have helped us. There we go. I was like, why is that blank? I'm going to freak out.
Oh
I'm
no.
not going to freak out.
It's not. It's just taking a minute.
We have the samples of some species that might be found on Terrace. And, any of those could work. And then we've got some listing of names. So feel free to grab some of those. Although, you didn't even have to grab the Zabrak names. Perfect. Wonderful.
Oh, I find Fantasy Name Generator has a lovely list of names.
Yes, it does. Why, look. Here's a link to the Fantasy Name Generator's website.
I like them. I like them a lot.
Per Mad J's warning earlier about cursing, if you curse, that's fine. I'm going to be using these expletive substitutes that often come from expanded universe stuff, but there's a little bit. We've got Dank Ferric in here, I think. Yeah, Dank Ferric and Carabast and Ichuta and Laser Brain, and there are lots of F word and S word substitutes. So those exist. Those are things. Cool. So let's jump back to
I like Jubal the Devronian.
Nice, Jubal. Jubal. Oh, Jubal makes me think of Thieves World.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
That was a cool character. All right, so go ahead and stick that in there. Blank disapproves of your cartel work and wants you to get out.
I think that is... Where is my list of people? I think that's Haproda. She thinks the cartel work is just a little too not safe.
Man, the girl who cheers everybody up thinks you need to get out. Interesting. Okay. And then Blank and you have a plan to make some real money. They worry it's not going to work, but it's a sure thing. I'd like this to be outside of your gang, right? This has got to be somebody outside of your control. It's somebody else that you have a plan with to make some real money.
Real money.
I think this might be Ito.
Oh, yes. What do you think about that, Ito? Are you okay with that?
That's you, Jeremiah.
Oh, sorry.
I already switched the character name. Sorry about that.
I'm off on a whole other one. No, I 100% think that makes a lot of sense. As soon as I saw that question, I was like, "Oh, me."
Yay!
Yeah.
I was in my head like,
Nice.
"Please choose Ito. Please choose Ito." This sounds delightful.
Yeah, I'm over here trying to figure out names, but yes.
Okay, cool. And let's go down here to those questions we skipped. I saw you were putting some things in. So your secrets. You've fallen on hard times. You have to keep your work secret from the people closest to you. Choose 3.
Yeah.
Federal? I gotta change that.
Would it be Imperial in this case?
Yeah, or it could be so. In my headcanon, and if anybody thinks this is too complicated, say so. There's a terrorist security force who are technically cops. They are backed up by stormtroopers during times when the National Guard would be called in. Stormtroopers will show up.
Yeah.
The Imperial Security Bureau is kind of like the FBI, right? So basically the TSF, they're the ones that will do street patrols, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
ISB, they're the higher muckety muck detecting, spying on people, that kind of thing. And stormtroopers are just the giant blunt instruments.
I like kind of keeping it on the same kind of scale as what it was in Cartel. So I think, maybe somebody in the ISB.
Okay. That sounds good to me.
Yeah. I'll figure out names for all these people at some point. But
now, let me ask you this question. A cousin who works in the ISB means that's a Twillick.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. How does that work? Or does it? Maybe it doesn't.
It doesn't right off the bat. It could be a thing where maybe Ito was adopted.
Yeah.
Or it could be a cousin by marriage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I like
mean, we could
that.
always change the like. Maybe it's not a cousin, but there could still be like a really close tie for some reason, and we obviously.
Oh, let's go. I like the in-law kind of
Okay.
thing. Maybe.
Sure. So we're.
I've got an outlaw for an in-law.
So
Hey.
we're not cousin by blood, but through some marriage shenanigans. I'm good with that.
Marriage shenanigans.
You know, like you do, like there is.
You know.
There we go. A spouse or mate who asks too many questions. What are you thinking about that one? Are you
He's actually human. I was thinking mate, because I like this idea that Ito is just so like all he cares, like he's just all interested in the science and stuff, and I think that like he had a really close friend growing up. Maybe they went to like school together or whatever, and then things happened in Ito's life and fell on really hard times, getting into debt to people he shouldn't be in debt to. And so like their professional paths certainly diverged, but they're still close. And so I think this best friend of sorts is always just wondering like, you know, how do I keep up with things, and you know, et cetera, et cetera.
I like it. And then a kid who thinks you're beyond reproach. Tell me about that. What are your thoughts on that?
Like my first thought is orphan, because that's an easy, like, you know, some little street urchin that like maybe I see like all the time, like back and forth from like my home to the lab or something, and you know, maybe it's my cool science outfit, or like maybe, you know, maybe he's seen me talking to somebody cool looking that, you know, even if they don't know they're in the cartel, but they just look like that's somebody cool to know that they saw me talking with. So I think it's sort of that angle of like, this kid just thinks I'm really cool, and you know, if I'm cool, then like obviously I'm not a bad guy, kind of like that kind of point of view.
We could definitely milk that for some drama. That is good stuff.
Yep.
All right, got so many NPCs to put on the board. I love it. Cool. Let's sneak back up here to your ties. You already filled out one.
Yep,
Blank, and you have an understanding.
Yeah, I think we do. Especially since I know Rue's an informant. So, and then I guess the other side of that is knowing I'm always in debt, and knowing Rue is always moving money from here to there. Like maybe he lets me skim occasionally or something. I don't know.
Interesting. That is doomed. I love it.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Blank got you into this business to help you with your financial troubles, but didn't tell you the whole story. Now you're both stuck.
Yeah, so my first thought was it could be AB, but I'm not sure I didn't catch like what function her gang kind of has, because I kind of had this idea of like before Ito was in the cartel that like he was just getting deeper and deeper into debt, and then there comes that conversation of like, you know, they can't just kill me because I owe too much, and so, you know, some kind of like enforcer or muscle is kind of sent to like reason with me or something, and you know, maybe they play the good guy and it's like, listen, you just do a little bit to pay down your debt, and then suddenly, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound, and now I can't get out. But I don't know if that really fits with what AB and her crew are doing, in which case it could just be, you know, some muscle in the cartel or something.
I'm imagining, check me on this, Misha, if you're not feeling it, but I'm imagining that AB, that your crew, one of the jobs you do is you ferry product. So you've got to go to the cook right? You got to head to Ito's stinky place and pick up product and move it along. So that's how I would imagine the two of you would work, at least for the cartel.
Yeah.
Well, well, I don't think I started out being a cook. Like I think I got recruited to be a cook because of my financial troubles.
Nice. What did you do before?
Amy's high enough up to have recruited you to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fair. I think he had like, I think Ito had the kind of a legitimate job of some sort, and just I don't think it's like gambling. I think, like I said, he's just bad with money. That's not where his head is at with his life. Like he's focused on like all these other pursuits, and then maybe he's taken out shady loans and things, and then before he knows he's.
Were you a legit pharmacist?
Oh, a pharmacist, worked for a chemical company. Pharmacists.
Oh yeah, I like the idea that maybe some sort of like chemical researcher kind of a thing. Yeah. And like maybe that was the in at first, like, oh, you've got access to all these things, and maybe that's how trying to keep up with my debt started, and then eventually it just became, you're just gonna be our cook full time now.
What does he waste his money on? Does he start lots of projects that he never finishes? Are they all a bunch of different non-related things, or is there one big thing that he keeps trying to do and having to start over?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that because I don't think he's like a gambler, so he's not like gambling it away. Yeah, I can imagine him having like hobbies, like he might have had some kind of like little mini lab, at home or something, and he always just wants the best of the best equipment, and he didn't care what it cost. He just wanted it to like keep up with his research and whatnot. And
these Erlenmeyer flasks are wasteful. I must get these. These are better. I love it.
Gotta get those good fume hoods installed.
It can also be your maid is sick and has expensive medical care.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I was gonna put for my first tie, I was gonna have a sister. That I'm having to keep my secrets from.
That sounds fun. I like that a lot.
She wouldn't understand.
So then who got you into the business? We already got Rue over here on the understanding. You were leaning towards AB, but Misha, you're not feeling like that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's cool. So we'll need to create somebody then.
Probably, I don't know, unless there's any. I haven't looked through any of the NPCs.
Could it be somebody that from Rue's side of the? Could it be Astraban, Astaraban? I don't know. He's just a big thug Wookiee. Zoli's new, so probably
not. Where's his people? Oh, here we go.
Oh, it's Zola and Astaraban. I don't know if either of those would fit because one's brand new, and the other one's a thug Wookiee, which maybe. But probably not.
Yeah, I do like the idea that with the implication of like now we're both stuck. So like I don't think it's somebody that's like necessarily super important in the cartel.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like my initial thought was like some kind of like enforcer of some sort. Like came to collect and I never had the money, and we kind of came to this arrangement of like
it could be a Staraban then. It could totally be a Staraban.
Okay.
Oh god, that gets so a Staraban suspects Rue. Ito knows it's true. Oh, that's some wicked lines right there.
Perfect.
I'm into it.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
So now I gotta give my sister a name.
Cool. Well, we are at our halfway point, a little past it. So let me ask you, Mad J, do we want an 8-minute break with a video where the text is a little jark and borked, or do we want just 6.5 minutes where it looks pretty? Same.
I don't know. When I'm dancing, I'm not trying to read anything. I'm dancing.
In 8 minutes, it shall be. It's a brand new Hutt Cartel themed 8-minute break movie that we will be having. See y'all on the flip.